When looking for your favorite tools and supplies for your next flooring job, we have the absolute best place to shop online. Head on over to shagtools.com, the pro's choice for everything from cutters, adhesives, knee pads, shower systems, and more. Shag Tools carries all the premium brands you know and trust. In stock with fast shipping to either you or your job site. And right now, our new customers are going to receive 10% off their initial purchase using the code HUDDLE10. That's right, HUDDLE10 at shagtools.com.
What is up, guys? Live from CFI, FCICA, Synergy Convention in Nashville. Welcome back to the Huddle. We're your weekly playbook helping you gain forward progress in your career. Simply put, we're here to help you win. For all our new viewers and viewers at home, welcome to the team. So today is our first live from the stage podcast for the Huddle. Yeah, give some love back at home. Go Chiefs. We need it. We need some help.
Boo.
Yeah, Birds. Wait a second. What's this podcast about? All right. Mention to all of our sponsors, special thank you to Shag Tools, Divergent Adhesives, NAFCT, Trade Tap featuring the VTI. I've talked about that a bit here. And give a warm round of applause for all the sponsors. They're the only reason we're able to do this. So we're going to kick this thing off about pretty much the convention here. So, you know, every year I come to this, I go to CFI. I'm really happy to see, again, CFI and FCICA join together in this convention. It's like it adds a new level of people and a new level of energy to the show. I love it, and I hope they continue to do it. And they got my vote for doggone sure.
It's almost like it was supposed to happen, right? Since the first time, it just kind of connected the dots and put the right people together in the right places at the right time.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's our question to the audience, and to the audience back at home is, you know, what'd you come to the show for, or what are you hoping to get out of the show? We got, you know, CFI, FCICA, also the FCITS and the FCB2B, 3 days gathering, you know, the 16th to the 18th. What they, you know, the goal of this is to put together inspectors, installers, manufacturers, companies, contractors, all in the same thing with different tech partners. So, you know, what are you wanting to get out of the show, and what made you make the trip to Nashville? Here you can see on the live screen here, like some of the stuff that's already went together. It's been an awesome show to start anyway.
You know, it's been a very busy time trying to make it to all the events that are starting it, because technically we haven't really started yet. This is just the opening, right? We have a lot of
Day one.
Individual opportunities for people to take training and certification and get some more knowledge in their toolbox is what's been happening, separate from what I would say was an open invite. Like anybody else could sign up for the event, but there was some private events going on. There were some meetings, some behind the scenes to where information is being shared and spread, so that way everybody knows what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, there was, you know, it got kicked off with the golf tournament this morning.
Who won? Who won that? Who's winning?
Yeah, no one
Nobody
knows.
in this room.
Everyone's a winner for showing up.
Yeah, everybody got a little
Everybody
chain.
gets a participation trophy. Just kidding. Yeah, so I think one of the things that I always come for is the networking. In fact, that's probably the main thing I come for. I love the seminars. I love learning. But more than anything, I like coming and seeing people that I only see once or twice a year, maybe 3 times a year at the show. And that's always a special thing for me because, you know, I mean, you only get to see people a couple times a year. You catch up, but you get to see like that. That's hanging out with friends, essentially, like Mr. John Stair out in the audience. Yeah, shoot, baby.
We have a microphone. Hold on one second. We got a microphone coming out to you, brother. And it's odd that you guys can actually hear me this time, right?
Yes, and you sound fantastic. Hey, so this is my third time being here, and the reason I enjoy coming is exactly what you said, the networking. But I feel like everybody that comes here is at that high performance level of installation. We nerd out on it. We're constantly go 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 go, and believe it or not, I don't know that burnt out's the right word, but I feel like we all need like a little battery recharge every once in a while. And so when you get to network with like-minded people, you're going home with information, excitement, new techniques, and I think for all of us, it's actually healthy for all of us to get together like this, because we can get all the answers off social media and online, but to get together and talk about something maybe other than flooring for just a little bit, it really brings us like that family togetherness much more.
Well, I think you said it just right, and I think Nate had said it yesterday in one of the meetings about we're all floor nerds, and these are our people, right? And that's really what it's all about. Networking is one thing, but this is where I get to talk to somebody. Hey, how's life going? Hey, how's the family doing? This is where you get to know everyone more on a personal level, as well as get some resolution to some issues you might have, whether it be with employees, subcontractors, or installation techniques, tooling. You get to hear it from a firsthand experience.
When's the trade show?
When?
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I'm used to having my computer in front of me, guys, so bear with us while I flip through this paper and make all this noise.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, so the real heart of this whole thing is that we are a big family, and be honest with you, you do get around like-minded people, and when you're back at your office and you're working away and you're doing your thing, or you're dealing with the hard day-to-day things of getting crews on jobs, or if you're a crew yourself, getting the project completed, if you've watched the Huddle, we are always promoting for installers to get to this event. And it's because of that networking thing. And I've learned that I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and so I get to pick up the phone and call other people when I have, whether it's technical questions, business questions, whatever it may be. These connections that you make at these shows is invaluable. So we love the fact that when you come here, you make new connections, you get to see your friends. So that's my favorite part. I mean, by far. All right, so let's find out what your favorite part is. John, thanks for bringing that to the show. It's a little bit odd sitting up here talking like we're doing a seminar, so forgive me if I stumble a bit. I'm a lot more stupid on the actual podcast, actually.
We work out all the bugs before we go on air. We didn't really have that opportunity today.
Yeah, technology as far as IT work is not our strong suit. But thank you for everybody who did get it going. The IT team back in the back of the room got us up and live. Sorry to anybody who was next door that had to hear us over here.
Sorry for everybody next door that heard me say dusty ass voice. I was like, what? They heard me?
Yeah, Jorge is going to be joining us here in a bit. I do want to give a shout out to Jorge for running the Spanish version of the Huddle. He does a great job over there, and it's really, engaging the Spanish-speaking community. I think that's some low-hanging fruit for the training entities. I know that's being worked on, but also that's the outreach of the Huddle, is to try to get that voice of that community into what their needs are, where do they see shortfalls, and making sure that at the end of the day, the goal is like higher training, higher professionalism, increase our ability to perform out in the field. Installation is tough. We have to continue to drive that narrative that we need new blood, but we also want the old blood. The old blood has to lead the way, and that's how this right here is how you do it, is coming to these shows. So one of the questions how do you separate yourself? So I'll talk on it, and I'd love some audience participation on this. But separating yourself for me is knowing my shortfalls first off, and then trying to double down on getting a little bit better at them. But read the market, man. Like, read the market. One of the biggest things that always comes to our table from our general contractors or our customers is the need for our installers to be professional. The fact of showing up on time, being pleasant to deal with, and being, first quality installers. That is my rally cry every single week at the Huddle. Get trained, get certified, and get noticed. So that's probably my answer.
Well, the thing is too is if you think about all the other careers out there, everybody is uniformed, right? The people you view as professionals, and whether it's an auto mechanic all the way to a grocery store, everybody's always uniformed. They're always representing the entity that they're working for, and that's part of the plan, right? That's part of the plan, and that's part of their succession plan. Why can't it be part of ours? And I speak firsthand experience as to
Talking about uniforms on
about
installers or what?
uniforms on installers, uniforms, and just being consistent all across the board. Firsthand experiences. We had very unpleasant experiences at the beginning of preferred flooring, and then once a gentleman said to me that if you're not willing to put your brand on your employees, why should I be willing to hire them? And I think that's the same thing, right? I'm not saying you got to be branded when you go to a residential home or anything like that, but
Doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But be professional. There's a level of professionalism that brings comfort to a client, to a contractor, and I think that is across the board. And me as a consumer, I feel the same way. If we say that we don't judge a book by its cover, we'd be lying, because the cover is the first thing we see. Representation of an individual or a company is huge in any market.
Yeah. So how do you guys set yourselves apart? Right? How does a training entity set itself apart? How does how do manufacturers set themselves apart? Typically, that's like engineering new products that we get to come here and learn about. But everybody's at a race to get noticed, and I think another way, not me personally, but from a business owner's perspective, setting ourselves apart at my flooring company is our crews. We had our installer appreciation event this last week. We had food trucks and games and prizes and all this stuff. We had 110 installers show up, and that type of stuff is what gets kind of connects the office with the installers. I installed for many years, so I don't have a problem connecting with them. But there's a lot of times, a lot of our staff inside the office, they need to make that personal connection, and that's one way for companies. If you don't show your installers appreciation, someone else will.
I want to add to the whole representation, and some of what I learned was through CFI, and the way that they drive that bus, and the teachings is about being professional and cordial and on time, and having, what's the word I'm looking for?
Pizzazz?
No, not
Professionalism?
pizzazz.
What?
I'm
What
not
were
going to
we
show up
talking
in
about?
sparkly boots or anything like that. But just separating yourself, putting yourself in a situation to stand out a little bit, and the level. There's so many definitions of professionalism, but I think when you use your education and you meet everyone at these events, you start learning that the different levels that everyone has put themselves through, and you try to do your best to replicate what they're doing because they found success, right? If they found success doing those small little steps, then why can't I? And I think that any kind of training group, CFI was one of the first to bring that to my attention, what I was missing, and how to approach it moving forward.
Yeah, this is the best place to come is this actual convention though, versus say Not that all the shows aren't valuable, but this one seems to be a little bit more family, as John said. Okay,
Are you
so
guys?
this
Can you
is
guys hear
way
me?
harder than doing it like at home, by the way. Having you guys look up here, and I'm like stumbling and falling around. All right, let's get. I
No, we
want to
can
bring
hear
up
you.
a webinar series that we're going to be producing from the Huddle. Looks like our. There we go. Uh, we are we are working on a how to start your business as an installer. So taking it, from an installer to like a lot of them trying to make them understand that they are a business. If they are a sub, they are a business, what to expect and how to carry themselves in the marketplace. But that webinar series is going to be produced by the Huddle. We have experts on each of the major topics.
It's not us. We're not the experts, guys. Just so you know.
We're just putting it together. But it goes everything from setting your business up. We call it legal. That's your kind of the right corporate entity or right business entity, I should say, for your business. We'll have accountants on for each one of these, but we want to give an actionable step for installers to go from just installing as a individual to building their business. It's been one of the topics that every time whether we have the Huddle or we're talking to somebody live, it's like the biggest problem they have. In fact, one year a guy teared up over this situation where someone in his family ended their own life because of taxes, and they were an installer that had produced a large amount of money income wise, but never really learned how to manage their business or manage their employees. And so we're bringing this series. It's going to be everything from that
Can
into
someone turn Daniel's
operational.
mic on?
What's that? We're we got technical difficulties with Daniel back home.
Go ahead, try it out, D.
Can you hear me now?
There you
Yes, sir.
go. All right.
Hey.
There he is.
Oh, hey, everybody, Daniel's still here too.
I was trying to ask a question a little bit ago.
Well, ask away if it's still
Yeah,
a
because
question.
you were talking about the show and what goes on over there, and we have a question over here on Instagram, just like what what kind of certifications or classes are going on over there that people would benefit from, because you keep on talking about how education is key, right? What kind of classes are going on over there, so people get an idea of what's going on?
Well, I do know that SIM had their 2 days to SIM. So FCICA had their 2 days to SIM. I think it goes on, started yesterday and today. So it's over now, but 2 days to SIM. If SIM training is super valuable for anybody in the flooring business. But yeah, they had their 2 days to SIM. Sometimes it's 3 days. They got it to 2 here. Yeah. So I know that. Also, there was a lot of demos. I wouldn't say there are certifications, but I know there were some demos. Navalis did one. Was there other certifications you know about? Do you guys know about any certifications to help answer that question? Was there?
Well, I think there's education classes going on. I don't know if they're labeled as certifications, but they had the FC B2B.
Did CFI used to do? I know someone's in the audience that can answer this. Did they used to do any certifications at, say, convention or anything like that you can remember, Rod?
Oh,
We had a pattern match class at ICE a few years back. We had the written Master 2 test here at convention. It's only an hour or so, so it didn't detract from the convention at all. But more importantly than that, we had Mohawk at our certification team meeting reviewing their trims and picking our brains. So we had real input from installers to the industry. We've had in the past JetTech come to test and field test their product years before it went on the market. Persona, when they expanded from blades into tools, they picked our brain here at convention about that. It's a place where installers who were normally shoved in the back and silenced, we can be heard.
Yeah, use
That's
this tool.
a big deal at this convention.
So you were able to give the installers in that. Was it was that like a meeting here?
Yeah, we had a certification team meeting, and then at the end of that meeting, Mohawk came in with their team of people to pick our brain
That's freaking
as
awesome.
a group
Yeah.
for input on their transitions, which is a big deal because most installers know transitions are the big.
Yeah, they were
it's
asking.
we tie our job into anything and everything that touches that floor, and it's a big deal.
They were asking what they can do to be better and what were some of the
Yes,
issues that we
exactly.
were seeing in the field, so they
What are
can
the
find some
problems?
resolve. Yeah,
Right.
and
What are the headaches? What are the problems? What can we do?
And
that was exactly what they wanted to know.
that's fantastic because a manufacturer who is open to they want to hear real life feedback. They want to hear a story, a nightmare, so that way they can find some resolve. And that's hard, right? That's hard to go and say, hey, we know that we're not perfect. What can we do to be better? That was awesome. I did have to leave that a little bit early because we had a lot of things planned and we ran a little over. But I thought that was great that they were being vulnerable. They were asking for real life feedback and input, and that's awesome. They're probably going to use that information and put something really sweet out on the market.
I
Who's
know I
going to
see
be
Leslie
Any
has
of
her
our
hand up
audience
because
back
she
at
does a
home?
lot of this.
we have a question.
So, as a manufacturer, I will say, for many years we came to convention, but we showed up the day of the trade show, set up, did the trade show, and then left. Not really understanding how valuable it is to connect with the installers. And you can call it networking, but it really is connecting and understanding what they need and listening and making sure that they know their voice matters.
Yeah, that's a great point. And what manufacturer?
Robert's QEP.
There you go. Yeah, so it sounds like connections from manufacturers to installers. There's not very many opportunities for that to happen, especially when you're talking about the installer influencing design or influencing the actual in the field product that you're going to have to deal with. So that's pretty cool. I think that answers the question, Daniel. All right, let me pull up. Okay,
This is really how we are in real life. Like usually,
yeah,
you have a
usually
big
we
screen.
have this stuff kind of a little. You've been on the huddle, you know. It's a little bit different being up on stage at the event, but we are blessed to be here. So yeah, this is talking about plenty of business operation stuff. I did a talk earlier about how AI is going to be affecting the flooring industry. We did a lot of research, and with TradeTap and the VTI and these things, we work with a lot of our developers are AI first developers. And so that was pretty cool to give that talk. It was a really quiet room, almost a little more quiet than this one, but it was a pretty quiet room. But at the end of the day, I think people understood that movement, that kind of stuff is happening, and we're going to be looking to the as the flooring industry. We're going to be looking to the installers to help sell work in the future. That's our hypothesis on that thing. But yeah, there's some other business operations. Do you have the list? Jorge's going to be here soon, it looks like. So hopefully he brings some
Pizzazz. He brings the sparkle.
He's our pizzazz guy.
So
all right.
Maybe tell the people who weren't there this morning a little bit about TradeTap's rebranding or Go Carrera's rebranding into TradeTap and the Verified Trade Index. Thought you might want to mention that for a minute.
Yeah, so as many of you know about Go Carrera, we have rebranded Go Carrera to TradeTap. TradeTap is just actually Go Carrera will become TradeTap Pro. And in 26, we will be doing the B2C version of TradeTap. So it'll be the consumer homeowners, they buy their products at various places, whether it's floor to core or online. I gave a stat earlier that is 23 to 40% of increase in online flooring purchases, which is kind of crazy. But these people have to have their flooring installed, and you're not going to go to Angie's List to get a good installer. And unfortunately, I don't know, don't deplatform me for putting that on the interwebs. But
What about Facebook Marketplace? Come on now.
Yeah, that's so connecting homeowners with high quality installers. I'm not sure where that goes with everybody, and specifically with how retailers are going to deal with that trend. But that's why we're creating Trade Tap as a consumer product in 26. And then the VTI is the old hammer rating. It's essentially just rebranded, and we're not going 0 to 5 on the rating score. It goes from proficient to floor god. So we're just rebranding stuff, freshening stuff up, making it more. We've learned a lot over the last 4 years at Go Carrera, or I should say with the Go
Is Daniel's mic
Carrera
off
platform.
again?
So that all that rebranding efforts coming to fruition now, and yeah, we're excited. Daniel, got any other questions coming up?
No, I just
The
keep on
chat's
talking.
pretty slow. Everybody's here.
We do have some people watching us though over there, so that's the good thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh look, Jorge's here. Hey.
Where'd you just come from, Jorge?
Hip hip, Jorge.
Yeah, Jorge. Woo!
Let's start a Jorge chant.
Yeah, so I just came from the I4F meetup, and they're unveiling some new products for their stairs. Herringbone also product for the floor. So they were just showing us a little bit about it, how it comes together, when they plan to kind of unveil it in the future. So we're getting the first look at that. So that's something that you can only see here.
Is that another example of them like asking the installers for input and stuff?
Yeah, they want input from everyone, and we get first dibs at looking at this stuff and kind of giving our feedback on it. So it was good to see the new products that they're gonna unveil pretty soon. So that's awesome, and they have great food and drinks out there. So
nice.
Yes.
Sure way to get an installer to do something.
Yeah,
free food.
Hey, you got nachos? I'm there.
Here's another question from the audience.
Hi there. Just wondering if you could give a little bit of history on the Huddle, how it started, a little bit about yourself, how long it's been going on, that sort of thing. Easy question.
Sure, appreciate it. So Daniel, Jose, and I started the Huddle almost 3 years ago, I believe. The whole idea was just giving, similar to what we were talking about, giving the installer a voice to go to the industry and try to promote things that are going to help them in their career. I was an installer. I built a flooring company, and then I moved over into the technology world. As I said in my talk earlier, that
true nerd.
that was coming from the installation world. I really want to find a way to reinvigorate our industry. I mean, I don't know about you guys if there's any residential people, but in the commercial world, we show up on a job site, we're not the most respected trade. And I would love to get back to being that respected trade that some of the old timers I've talked to tell me about in the 40s, 50s, and how people got out of your way. You actually got the job, and it was actually ready for you, that kind of thing. But yeah, we decided to launch the Huddle to just be a voice. I love this guy and his brother and Jorge, and so it's an hour of time every week that we get to just come together and chat about and nerd out on flooring, and mostly flooring. Sometimes we bring some other stuff in, but so that was the original idea. We've kept with it. Our sponsors have helped us be able to continue, and that was kind of the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think just trying to help someone not fail. Really, we didn't have a lot of leadership, and we didn't have a lot of guidance when Daniel and I started. So to be able to say, "Hey, this is where we messed up. Let's see what we can do about helping someone not go through that," and that's really what pushed it. I don't know if the industry really needed it, because there's a lot of leadership in this room. There's a lot of people that I can call on, where I don't need to watch a podcast or anything like that. But it was more or less trying to get people together on one platform to share information and ideas, just to help one another out.
Yeah, but you get to have the chance to, to connect with other people. What the Huddle gives you that a phone call doesn't is your experience gets shared with other people.
Yeah.
Like other people get to see it. We're pretty vulnerable on the Huddle. We
Yeah.
tell stories of our mistakes and our failures, and so will our audience, and they'll chime in. And we've had some really crazy huddles, and now we're live on stage and trying to make the best of the opportunity we have to bring the installer's voice up. That's really the big deal.
And another thing is that we know the leadership, we know who to call, but there's people out there that are watching us, they don't know who to call. I mean, I was that person at some point. I didn't get any information till I met most of you guys out here, most of the professionals out here, and that's where I got information, but not everybody knows that we're here.
Yeah, and
So
that
we try to
also
make
drove
it
you to
aware.
go start your certification journey and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what drove me to get my NFIC, which was what I really, really wanted, because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I found it here at one of the conventions.
There you go, a hub, right? So, and that's essentially what we created, was kind of a hub to where there's information and a lot of links that we share on the website and live for everyone to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a great testing ground to figure. We'll spin some ideas, give feedback, and be like, "That was stupid," or find out, get some validation on some ideas. We're on what number is this? 167, 167, and I think we've only missed like 1 week, and it's a grind sometimes to just get on and keep the conversation going. There's been plenty of episodes where we had really low engagement, really low participation from the audience, and we just kind of drudged through it. And I say the online audience, that's not to impute on any of you good people, but yeah, so 167 episodes in, and we're still here. So we're looking forward to continuing it. We really think the webinar series, and anybody who wants to, kind of have something that we can gather some experts together for and put a webinar series together. We're committed to doing 3 major webinar series next year. We're going to produce it, get the right people in the right place. And like I said, it's about starting and running a business as the first one. So.
Yeah, and we started doing the Spanish podcast last year. So I think I'm 5 episodes in on the Spanish one. So we're trying to get to that as well, so we can have different types of viewers in a different language also check us out.
Sorry, we're looking at my phone here, you guys. We're not trying to avoid anybody. Just
Go ahead.
having some technical issues with Daniel. Every time he tries to speak, it's not letting him go on.
Hey, Jorge, how often do you do the Spanish products? How often do they come out?
We do it every quarter, once every quarter. It's a little bit more difficult to get people in the industry that speak Spanish to help out on stuff like that. We do have Spanish speakers that are installers. We do have people that are in manufacturing, but it's tough finding Spanish speakers to come out.
Yeah, so anybody who's bilingual and in the industry and wants to join, let us know. Bring new insight, new problems, new solutions, right?
Yeah, we want to make sure everybody's aware that we're here to help them out, and CFI, NFIC, and all these other organizations are here to help everybody out.
Yeah, so Daniel did want me to mention about the podcast and the webinar. You got the QR code up there. Make sure to pull out your phones and QR that. And
it's also on the stickers, I believe, on the table.
Yeah, I forgot about the stickers.
Mr. Nate.
Take the stickers, please.
So I was in Chicago teaching some hand sewing techniques to a Hispanic crew. I told them about the Huddle podcast, and they translated that to the crew. They could not get their phones out fast enough to start downloading the Huddle. There is a hunger for this, and like Jorge said, not everybody knows. Not everybody knows that CFI is out there. Not everybody knows that NFIC is out there, and the help is available. And so it's really hard. It's an uphill battle, but we have to keep climbing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we're in our own little box, and we think everyone knows. I mean, because we're all engaged with one another, we think that everybody knows, and really the huddles trying to get the word out there. That's really the goal. We're going to start pushing a little bit more of a marketing budget to get paid advertising, not for the huddle, but paying for advertising to get the huddle recognized and get in the hands of people that can help. Because every show I go to, I talk to somebody and they tell me how much they appreciate the huddle and these guys' input, their expertise. If you just look back when we first started and where PF or where my company was, you can see the growth. I mean, these are guys you want to listen to, you want to give some credence to, and our audience is awesome as well. There's so much knowledge out there, but it's almost like trying to break through a brick wall to get it to the right people. It's like everybody who values training, who cares about installation, who cares about the customer's experience with the installer, they're all in this room. They're all here. Like
all 7 of you guys.
Yeah. But they're all here. I just said about my installer appreciation event, there was 110 installers at that event, and maybe a half of them knew about the huddle. At tops, that's kind of generous even, and that's right there in my hometown. As much so, all you can do, we dedicated to just being consistent, being there every Tuesday, and doing the job every single week. And so we appreciate the people who do appreciate that and keep coming back, and the people who participate weekly out in the audience. They're awesome. John, you're always good. We've got a handful of probably 8 to 10. I'd almost call them commentators at this point of the huddle.
We appreciate it. Even the funny stuff. We like that stuff too.
And to get back at Nate and Ben's question, we're going to have another huddle in Espanol, and it's going to be September 30th, and it's going to be implementing effective quality control measures. So that'll be this month. So tell your guys to check us out.
I'm going back there next week.
If not, Spotify or something. I usually go back because I missed a lot of episodes before I met these guys. I'll go back, and it sounds cheesy, but in the morning when I'm going to work, I'll actually put them on. It's like I'm talking to them, but I'm just checking out the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of. We're on all the major podcasts. We've got several of our videos and our shorts and different things where the back end people have cut it up and put it out, have reached well in excess of 1 million views. One of them's reaching close to 2 million views, and downloads and all that is up. So the huddle's doing well. We're starting to gain some steam where people outside of the people that already know us are starting to watch. We get new viewership every week. So yeah,
we appreciate everyone and all the support is what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Amen. All right. Well, we're going to start wrapping this thing up. We did not come in. The one difference with this particular huddle, this particular podcast this week, we did not bring our topics. We wanted to see if we could get audience engagement, if people would go back and forth. So we do appreciate that. But we didn't bring a topic that we talk about, and we did that intentionally. We wanted to just kind of rap with everybody. So there's not, a particular topic we've done research on and that we're drilling down on. So we're going to cut it a little bit shorter this week. Daniel's mic's not working, but we appreciate everybody's participation. And the people who watch the huddle, we cannot give you enough thanks for being there. on our other platforms, the comments and we get most of our topics from our audience. So,
hey, just one more to throw out. I hear David Zach, I think, is going to be on October 28th.
Yeah. David, I'll have to meet him right.
And he's going to be talking about the art of handling customer claims and inspections. So that's something that's coming up.
David,
a lot of interest.
Maybe run the mic over to David and let's hear a little bit about maybe a prelude to that particular podcast.
This just goes to show too, everyone, that the input that we receive from our audience here and at home is very important. It gives us the topics and the information that we need to make connections. Sometimes some of the people that we have in the room, we don't even understand who's around us, who's watching, and who we're going to have on the future or on a future podcast, because we don't get to meet everyone. It's usually a simple, short conversation or I know a guy, and then the connections are made.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not even prepared, and he has it written on his hand.
Well, I am not exactly sure what we're going to talk about because we haven't had a pre-conversation about it. I think we're going to probably talk a little bit about Floor Detective, which is my website, which is used throughout the industry. And it can definitely be utilized by installers. And we'll show you a little bit about how you can use the defect pages within Floor Detective so that you can recognize when you see something out there, you can recognize or at least know the name of it, right? So we'll probably have some pictures of different claims, defects, things like that. We'll show you that. We'll show you a new photo app we've created, I think, and whatever else comes up.
Nice.
Photo app, like technology is just going to be taking over. If we're not utilizing it, we're falling behind.
So right after that, I think Dwayne's going to be your guest, isn't he? Is Dwayne Pruitt going to be on?
Well, he might. Depends on what he says right now.
Sorry, Dwayne isn't comfortable articulating in public. Have you guys had any luck getting major manufacturers involved in the Huddle podcast? And if so, who and when can we expect to see anything?
Yeah, so we have talked to several of the manufacturers. A lot of the, as well as other companies that support the flooring industry. The podcast world is a little bit of a, it's like a Wild Wild West, and when they put their brand on something, it's like they'll show up as a guest, and we do have I think we'll end up having like Mohawk on, but as anything more than that, they want a large sample of the podcast. So like Federated.
Just being involved in having the conversations, not actually like sponsoring, but what sort of interactions that help promote installation, or what products are coming out, or how they help the installation community.
You bring up a good point. I think
we do have one podcast where manufacturers, I don't know which ones we have on, but it's about how manufacturers can better support the installation community. I forget
Don,
which one that is.
The hard part is that we're kind of fireside chat, right? Anything can be said, anything can be asked, and people kind of veer away from that.
People are a little bit leery of.
Yeah, so there's a little.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared.
We're not here to shame anyone or put anyone in a bad position, right? We want manufacturers to come on and feel comfortable talking about the situations and maybe the progression and the future of the industry. And I think that's maybe something that you were kind of alluding to is when are we going to have someone on here from a manufacturer representing the manufacturer side, being willing and able to talk to us from the installer perspective so we can get some of the answers, maybe clear up some gray area. And if not, that does sound like a good episode.
Well, we do have the manufacturer, what they can do to better support the installation community. That's one of the topics that's on our backlog or upcoming episodes, and I'm not sure. But we do have a manufacturer that supports the show, Divergent Adhesives, and they're a great sponsor. As you know, Sonny, Mr. Divergent. So we appreciate that too. Go Sonny.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy, sponsoring the podcast, but you know, how that relates back to what we were talking about earlier is when you come to these events like this, you get to meet the technical folks, and you're not meeting the person on the other end of the 800 line, right? You're meeting someone that you can call and talk to and have a live conversation. Who are you going to call when you're on the job? Are you going to call the salesperson? No, you're not. So if you can call a technical person and you have this relationship with them, what does that do? That gets the job done so you make more money, right? And we can all say, you know, it's great to come to these things, you meet people, you take classes, but it's so much more than that. I've been doing this for 25 years, coming to these things. I can't walk down the hall without seeing somebody I know. Give them a hug. We have relationships that we've had for 20 plus years that I know I can call them and they can call me. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, and we super appreciate the support, and I think one thing to drill down on just a little bit is that once you've created a personal relationship with someone in tech, it's amazing. I mean, you could Google, you know, XYZ manufacturers technical,
AI.
and yeah, I mean, you can get the person or get to a technical person, but if you know the guy, you get a lot. It's just a different experience, and it seems like obviously it's a little more helpful when your buddy calls you and says, "Hey, man, I need some help," and because you know him from convention.
Daniel did, so I got my little text message thread going right here. Daniel did mention that role in shape and installer success. We still need to try to get the WFCA involved in a potential episode. We get kind of an outline and it'd be a complimentary episode to the CFI one that we had about 10 episodes ago, something like that. So we have a lot of things on our radar, and maybe we should be better at kind of putting what's available out there.
Yeah,
what's
would
up
it
to
help
come.
if we put out the upcoming episodes somewhere? That might help out. So that's maybe a little bit of feedback.
And then we can get some people who are considered professionals in that portion of the industry, because otherwise you just get us talking about what we think we know instead of instead of the truth up there. But I'm not bashing you guys. We're pretty knowledgeable, I think. We do our best to bring facts. I have another question.
I don't have a microphone, but a simple share of the podcast goes a long way.
It really does.
Just a simple share, a like, get it out there. People in your feed can see it. That's how it grows.
Yeah, like and subscribing, but a share. Maybe at the end of each podcast, I should say like and share, because that's as important as a subscription, because that gets it out to the people. And if you have a decent friend group or following on any social media platform, it really does help get it to the installers who are not coming to the shows all the time and doing that stuff. So, yeah.
Don, do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to add to what Sonny was saying. Something that happened to me a few years ago. And as a result of being at convention and going to other conventions, we had a problem with a very specialized manufacturer. And because of coming to convention and making those connections with the tech guys and the guys that are more knowledgeable about things, when we ran into a problem with a product, a flaw, he called the rep, he called the mill, and he had to wait for the tech guy to call him back. And I just reached in my pocket, grabbed my phone, and I called the tech guy. And he spent thousands and thousands of dollars a year with this company, and with just a swipe of my finger, I was able to call the tech guy directly, and he's standing there completely flabbergasted as to how this basically lowly installer has more direct access to a tech guy than he does. And it's all because of coming and making those connections. So if anybody's actually out there listening and questions why they should come to these sort of events, it's because you can make those connections with somebody, that the people that are giving them the projects don't necessarily have. They have to go through the rep, and they have to go through, that rep has to call somebody, that to call somebody. Whereas if you come here, you can just find those people and just have that number, like Sonny was saying, have that personal connection.
Yeah, that brings up, like, the flooring industry is probably the biggest, smallest industry that I know of. Literally, the installation value of what is installed on an annual basis is it's more than the material value in a lot of ways. It's estimated between 22 and 29 billion dollars a year of labor value goes into the industry. So when you see the reports in the magazines that it's, you know, $29 billion of sales and how it breaks up between the major areas, right on the other side of that $25 billion is 25 or 29 billion of installation. And this convention, knowing that something like this convention should be absolutely packed with installers, like $29 billion of installation value annually. It's crazy.
That's crazy to think about. And we do have a hard stop, you guys. We got about 2 minutes left, and then they're gonna shut off the lights.
Well, I'll start shutting us down. I want to thank everybody for coming. Anybody in the audience, and Daniel, thank you for giving it your best go on the tech side over there, brother.
Daniel's mentioned everyone talks about going to class, but heat weld and flash cove class. He's also saying call Jay Zern out about being on the podcast. So he's been called out. I know he's not in here. And I see a lot of other people in here too that we should probably have on as guests, as long as the topic is in your comfort zone.
Yeah, QR that Flash Cove heat weld event coming up too.
And I want to add 10 seconds to add on to Don's.
By the way, sorry, just take a picture of that and send it to other people. So if you have a crew that could use, you know, some better skills in the heat welding, flash coving, you know, world, take a picture of that and send it to them so they have the QR to get to the link. And with that, we are just a couple of minutes shy. I want to thank the guests, or I should say co-hosts.
I'm a guest.
Yeah, every week. He won't go away.
Fed me tacos and I stayed.
I paid with tacos. All right, so thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us a little bit. We'll get better at this on-stage thing, because this is not the first time we're going to do it.
But it's the first time. It's not the last.
That's right. This is not the last. That's what I meant. See, that's what the stage does.
Teamwork makes the dream work, bro.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for the audience out, or anybody that catches this on one of the recordings.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Gracias.
Give us a like and a share, and maybe a subscribe, and a like and a share, and get this podcast out there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have said that.